The time has come for America to hear the truth.
George Bush told us we were attacked because they were jealous of our freedoms. Well, apparently the way we solve that is take away our freedoms and they won't be jealous anymore.
We've created a national security state which threatens our Constitution and weakens our basic liberties.
When are we going to stop allowing the government to violate the Constitution and the Bill of Rights?
Freedom isn't free, and we shouldn't freely give our freedoms away.
We have allowed our nation to be overtaxed and overregulated and overrun by bureaucrats. The founders would be ashamed of us.
Let freedom ring from every hill, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Patriot Radio at its best. You're listening to The Sound of Freedom with your host, Ryan Brooks.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You are now listening to The Sound of Freedom. Tonight is Monday, October 22nd, 2012. I'm your host, Ryan Brooks. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a lot to go over this evening. Before I get to any of it, I want to start this broadcast off with a quote from a man named William Cooper. We have so much to talk about, folks. If you don't know who William Cooper is, I recommend you look into him on your own time. But we're going to start this broadcast off right with a quote from Bill Cooper. Quote, "We have been taught lies. Reality is not at all what we perceive it to be. We cannot survive any longer by hanging on to the falsehoods of the past. Reality must be discerned at all costs if we are to be a part of the future. Truth must prevail in all instances, no matter who it hurts or helps, if we are to continue to live upon this earth. At this point, what we want may no longer matter, ladies and gentlemen. It is what we must do to ensure our survival that counts. The old way in the certain process of destruction, and a new world order is beating down the door. To cling to the past is suicide, guaranteed. To remain apathetic is assured enslavement. To learn the truth and then act upon it is the only means of survival at this moment. To shrug off the information presented to you on this broadcast and to disregard its warning will result in the complete destruction of the Republic of the United States of America. You will never get a second warning or a second chance. Like it or not, this is it. Stark reality. You can no longer turn your head and ignore it. You can no longer pretend it's not true. You can't say that it can't happen to me. You cannot run and you cannot hide. The wolf is at the door, ladies and gentlemen. I fear for the children, the innocents, who are already paying for our mistakes. There exists a great army of occupationally orphaned children. They are attending government-controlled daycare centers and schools, and latchkey kids who are running wild in the streets. And the lopsided, emotionally wounded children of single welfare mothers, born only for the sake of more money in their monthly check. Open your eyes and look at them, folks, for they are the future. In them I see the sure and certain destruction of this once proud nation. In their vacant eyes I see the death of freedom. They carry with them great emptiness, and someone will surely pay a great price for their suffering. If we do not act in concert with each other and ensure that the future becomes what we need it to be, then we will surely deserve whatever fate awaits us." That was a quote from William Cooper, and it's hard to believe, folks, that that quote was over 20 years ago. 21 years ago, to be exact. 1991 was when Bill Cooper made that quote. And, I mean, wow. Can you imagine, if you know who he is, can you imagine what he would be like today if he was to survive? He was killed in 2001. But I just wanted to start that broadcast off right. We're immediately going to get into our top story of this evening. We do have some social collapse news. We're going to be going into a debate about Facebook, newspeak, doublespeak, Orwellian in taking away our language, so to say. But first and foremost, I want to inform the listeners, I have not heard any mainstream media or alternative media report this, so hopefully you guys can get this under wraps here. On October 20th, this past weekend here, the Department of Defense announced the death of Private First Class Shane G. Wilson, 20 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. He died October 18th in Khost, Afghanistan. assigned to 3rd Battalion, 18th Infantry Regiment, 3rd Brigade, 101st Airborne Division from Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Private First Class Wilson is now the 2,141st American trooper to die in Afghanistan for absolutely no good reason. I feel that, especially since I was dumb enough to join and to go risk my life and fight over there, it is my duty to not forget about these men and women over there. Even if they don't know that they're serving this system that seeks to enslave us, they do believe they're doing the right thing, and they are getting slaughtered over there for absolutely no reason. How badly are they getting slaughtered? Well, let's put this into perspective, everybody. As of today, October 22nd, 2012, the United States has lost 2,141 soldiers in Afghanistan. The next highest number by any other country is from the United Kingdom, with 433 lost, killed soldiers in action. Next comes Canada with 158, and then France with a whopping 86. And I don't know if you saw this, folks, but the foreign minister for France announced recently that because of the whopping 86 KIAs that France has had in Afghanistan, they plan on pulling out all military forces from Afghanistan by the end of this year. You have Germany with 53 KIAs, Denmark 42, Australia 39, Poland 35, Spain 34, and it dwindles down. NATO actually has 10. But that just kind of puts it in perspective, folks. 2,141 soldiers killed. Private First Class Shane Wilson, 20 years old, dead. Can you picture right now, if you were to die right now, would you be satisfied with everything that you've done in your life? Would you be able to say that I lived my life to the fullest? Would you be content if you were to die tomorrow? This poor young man, 20 years old, and he's dead. For what? For opium, for lithium, for nonsense. And shame on the United States of America for even supporting the troops. I'm not saying we should go back to Vietnam and throw eggs and feces at the soldiers, but we need to get this through our children's head. Joining the military right now is not as glorious and as honorable as they say it is. Okay? In the words of General Smedley Butler, you should never go to war unless you're defending our soil here in the United States of America, or you're defending the Bill of Rights. And the 2,141 American soldiers who have died in Afghanistan have been in vain. I do not want to forget about that, and I want to make sure you guys at least hear it from somebody, because I know that they're not talking about it really anywhere. And speaking of foreign policy, I'm going to cover the debate real quick tonight, because I know I've told you before I'm not going to pay attention to it, but let's just show how badly. If any of you are going to go watch it tonight, I want you to remember what I'm going to tell you right now. All right. During this foreign policy debate between Puppet A, Barack Obama, and Puppet B, Willard Mitt Romney, they are not going to talk about. And if they do, be sure to let me know, folks. Drop me an email to thesoundoffreedom@hushmail.com. I'm willing to bet they are not going to mention the fact that we have 68,000 active duty troops in Afghanistan, and we have 113,376 contractors in Afghanistan, and that is from the Department of Defense as of October 1st, 2012. And how about this? I know they're not going to talk about this, folks. How about and this is really hard to find. I challenge you to go and try to take a look on your own and see if you can get the exact number, but I've seen estimates for in between 7,336 all the way up to 14,000 United States government contractors in Iraq as of October 2012. But Obama ended the war, right? So I guess if we have in between 7,000 and 14,000 United States private contractors there, that doesn't matter, right? The fact that we have 113,376 contractors in Afghanistan. No, forget about that. We only have 68,000 troops. I mean, folks, we are living in the wars of government contracts. This is unbelievable. A couple more things that they're not going to mention, and I guarantee they will not do this. If they do, please let me know. How about the 4 children killed Sunday by a U.S. troop-led attack on an Taliban stronghold in Afghanistan? That's 4 children killed this weekend. How about the reports of 168 children killed in Pakistan via drone strikes? How about the 2,141 American soldiers killed in Afghanistan? How about the 17,674 American soldiers that have been wounded in Afghanistan, having their legs, arms, and other parts of their bodies blown to bits? How about the 4,486 American soldiers killed in Iraq? How about the 32,223 wounded soldiers who have come home to a shoddy Veterans Affairs system, to say the least? Folks, if you're doing the math, that's a total of 6,627 military men and women killed in action and 49,897 men and women wounded since September 11th. Is it worth it? I don't know. I think not. Folks, we have to take a quick break, but I'm just getting fired up here. Sound of Freedom, Orion Talk Radio. Stay with us. We're going to be right back.